Good evening, Stamford, Connecticut. My name is Julian Duress, here with mayoral candidate Bobby Valentine. Today, our viewers will have the opportunity to know more about him and this election. First and foremost, Mr. Valentine, how are you?
I'm spectacular, and it's even better being on your show, getting to being the homes of Haitians of Stamford, Connecticut.
Awesome. And for the ones who don't know a lot about you, what can you say about yourself?
Wow, I don't want to take up your whole program because I have done a lot of things, but, my family came to Stamford, Connecticut 110 years ago in 1910 and never left. I went through the school system here from kindergarten through 12th grade. I've owned property here and lived in 5 different sections of the city. I've owned a business here that many people know, Bobby Valentine Sports Gallery. It was a restaurant on Main Street for 38 years where I created jobs for many people in the community, and I have a sports facility, Bobby Valentine Sports Academy over on off of Hope Street in Glenbrook, and people know me for that. The last 8 years, I've been the director of athletics at Sacred Heart University. I have been a director of public safety in Stamford, Connecticut, and I played Major League Baseball and managed teams in Major League Baseball, including one in Japan for 7 years. I lived on the island of Hispaniola, but the other side, over in Santo Domingo. I have visited Port-au-Prince. I've also lived in Caracas, Venezuela, and I am now ready to be mayor of Stamford, Connecticut.
Right. Now, Mr. Valentine, why mayor?
Well, to do anything in life, 2 things need to match up. You need to have passion, and you need to have a skill set. Right. And I have a passion for the people of Stamford because I've been here, they've been here, they've treated me great. I want to continue to serve the community the way I have for the last 50 years. But my skill set is one where I have been a leader, I've been a manager, I've been a director and an organizer. I understand how to build teams for success, and that's what a mayor does.
And what do you think are some of the problems that our city here is facing, and what are your solutions towards them?
Well, one of our problems, of course, is housing for those who work here. Deeply affordable housing for people who are just starting to work here, and housing that's affordable for people who have worked for a while and can pay a little more. We need to have ownership of housing, condominiums and lofts, and not only rental apartments for people who want to stay here and have their money and their investment grow while they're here. Our school facilities need a lot of work because they're old, and many of them have situations that make it unhealthy. And of course, the situation of public safety in our city, where I was the director of public safety about 10 years ago, needs to be up in front and center so that we have a safe place where people can live, where people can go to school, where people can enjoy, and that's what I'm doing.
Just to elaborate more on housing, me as a recent college graduate,
yes,
I would love to stay in Stamford. But a lot of people are saying, Stamford's getting more and more expensive. So what can we, as mayor, what can you do to help us who want to stay in Stamford stay?
Yeah, well, the idea of allowing people who are just starting to live in Stamford is we need to get a trust fund that can build places at a cheaper rate than they're built today. Not cheaper meaning not nice, but cheaper meaning less expensive. If you build them for less money, then you can charge less for people to live there. For you, that's important. For a family, that's important because the inventory in Stamford of 3-bedroom places where, or even 2-bedroom places where a family who has two children, and one's a boy and one's a gal, and they want to have separate bedrooms, and the mom and dad want to have a bedroom. Well, that's three we need to have, and there's not great inventory for that. So those incentives must also be created.
Do you believe the building corporations that are coming here in Stamford and building here should have a part in that too in play?
Yeah, I think that they need to be part of the solution. Not that they're part of the problem now, because they're building wonderful places for people to come, rent, and live. But their focus needs to be directed in a little more of a civic-minded focus to provide the needs for the community, not only the wants of the community.
And I heard on Twitter that you talked about zoning laws and preserve the zoning laws. Can you elaborate more on the zoning laws that you want to preserve?
Yeah, you know, our zoning laws in Stamford, I believe, should be dealt with in Stamford, and they should not be handed down from Hartford, because Hartford doesn't know Stamford. Stamford knows Stamford. So I think our zoning laws should be dealt with right here.
Also, you know, being part of the Haitian community, which is a minority community, we know we've seen the news about police, defunding the police. What is how do you think the minority groups and the police could come together as one?
Well, they must come together as one, and the idea of the community policing, the idea of the face in the community to look like the community is very important. So our hiring practices need to have a focus on who we hire. And then the training in the new world of policing must be implemented as quickly as possible, so that what is expected from our police is actually delivered, not only stopping crime, but preventing crime by being present in the community and letting the community know that they are one.
Awesome. And just kind of, the next section will be about public schools and infrastructure. You know, a lot of our schools out here are really old and, you know, must need rebuilding. What is your idea? What is your take on public schools here in Stamford that we know are good, but, you know, has a little bit of bad rep?
Yeah, well, we have good teachers. We have spectacular students, and the buildings aren't up to their level. It's going to take a lot of money. You know, we have a AAA bond rating right now, so we can borrow a lot of money. I don't necessarily want to borrow it because that comes right out of the taxpayer's pocket, but I have to lean on the legislators to be more creative in the way they ask and how they deliver funds to our city, so that we can have funds to develop new schools and repair the old ones.
Okay. And is there anything else in your infrastructure plans that you think Stamford needs?
Well, the one major thing we need a better relationship with Eversource, which is a partner in our infrastructure, because they handle all the services for our electric and our electric grid. And when something goes wrong, they need to be on our side. They need to work with us. And when they are going to put in a new underground anything, we need to coordinate with them when they're doing it, so they're not digging up a street that was just paved brand new. So that infrastructure situation must be addressed immediately, because we don't have a great relationship there.
And you being a business owner, our viewers here who might want to start a small business, what are your plans for them? Like, how can they start a small business here in Stamford?
Yeah, you know, you need a few things to start a small business. You need to have vision, you need to have desire, and the desire usually comes from having financing, and then you need to have a lot of energy. But beside that, you need to have the knowledge of not only opening a business, but how to keep the business open. I'd like to have a concierge service in my office at 888 Washington Boulevard that helps people open a business. But then I want an extension of that to be something that can help people stay in business, understand how much money needs to be put aside for taxes, understand what a rainy day fund is, how to make sure that your employees are being paid and being paid properly and on time. Those are very difficult challenges for a new business owner who just has the knowledge of how to do the work, but doesn't know how to keep the work going. And so I think our city can actually facilitate and help in that process.
So what I'm getting is, if you are elected mayor, Stamford business owners will have the possibility to make their dream come true as being a business owner. It will be possible. That is awesome, guys. You guys hear? If you are a small business owner or thinking of having a business, Stamford is the right city to come to if Mr. Bobby Valentine is elected mayor. Any other thing do you want to present to us, the Haitian community here in Stamford, before we let you go?
Well, just that we need help from the community with the language barrier, that there are people in your community who could facilitate in the government center, who could facilitate in our schools, in getting information flow going. The idea of success is communication. And when there's a breakdown in communication between our teachers and our parents, between our government and our families, you usually have confusion, and confusion does not lead to success. So I think that one of the things the community can do is find time with people who are bilingual and see how they can facilitate some of the things that need to be accomplished in our community.
Thank you. Mr. Valentine, the last word.
Well, the last word is Stamford's a great city. And in order to be even better and go forward in the right direction, it needs leadership. It's very simple. It can't get done without leadership. And I have not only leadership experience, but experience at a very high level.
Awesome. Thank you for watching us, Haitian Television Network. We'll see you soon. Back to the studio. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.